In this video, I am explaining to you why the uterus does not fall out of the vagina, and we are starting right now. Hi, this is Dr. Vinash. I am the medical coaching expert and founder of Pulse Tutorials, and I am on a mission to help a million medicos clear the basics, upgrade the knowledge, and excel in their clinical practice. Let's dive right into today's topic, which is supports of the uterus. The supports of the uterus can be divided into two main categories, the primary supports and the secondary supports. The secondary supports, we are doubtful whether they really actually support the uterus or not, but the primary supports definitely keep the uterus in its proper place. The primary supports can be further subdivided into two main categories based on whether they are actively supporting the uterus or passively or mechanically supporting the uterus. Now, when I say actively supporting, I mean to say a muscular component is present in this support system, and that pulls the uterus to its correct position and does not allow the uterus to fall down. Whereas when I say mechanical supports, I mean to say ligaments which do not contract but maintain the position of the uterus and help it remain in its anatomical position. Now, what we are going to do is take a look at every single one of these supports and try and understand them in detail so that we can understand another concept called as the prolapse of the uterus. The first important support of the uterus we are looking at is the pelvic diaphragm. Now, this is a muscular support. It's made up of two main muscles. The first part of the muscle is called as the coccygeus muscle. The second is the levator ani. The levator ani is, of course, the bigger of the two muscles, and it's made up of two smaller parts, the pubococcygeus and the iliococcygeus. Together, they form the deepest muscle layer of the pelvis. Now, some of the fibers of pubococcygeus muscle, they are inserted onto the perineal body, and as they go to the perineal body, they pass between the vagina and the rectum and kind of form a sling for the vagina, and they behave like the sphincter for the vagina. So indirectly, they not only support the uterus, but they also support the urinary bladder. Many of these muscles get torn during the process of childbirth or parturition, and that may lead to prolapse of the uterus. The second support is the perineal body. It's actually a fibromuscular node located between the vagina anteriorly and the rectum posteriorly. And there are 10 important muscles that get inserted onto the perineal body. These 10 important muscles are 4 pairs and 2 single muscles. Let's have a look at those 4 pairs of muscles first. The first pair of muscle is the superficial transverse peroneus. Second pair is the deep transverse peroneus. The third is the pubococcygeus, the part of the levator ani that we already spoke about. The fourth pair is bulbospongiosus. Then we have 2 more single muscles. These include the sphincter ani externus and the longitudinal muscle coat of the anal canal. All of these are inserted onto the perineal body, and they support the entire reproductive system in a female. The third important support of the uterus, active support of the uterus, is the urethral sphincter mechanism. Now, the urethral sphincter mechanism refers to an intrinsic smooth and skeletal muscles which are anatomically separate from the pubourethralis muscle. They blend above with the smooth muscle of the bladder neck and below with the smooth muscles of the lower urethra and the vagina. The muscle itself is a circular skeletal muscle called as the rhabdosphincter, and this can behave as a compressor of the urethra and a sphincter of the vagina. So we call it the sphincter uretrovaginalis. Moving on to the mechanical support, which means we are talking about ligaments or position of the uterus, which helps in keeping the uterus inside the pelvic cavity without allowing it to prolapse down. No muscle is involved in the mechanical support. The first most important mechanical support would be the uterine axis or the mechanical axis of the uterus. The angle between the long axis of the vagina and the uterine body is called as the angle of anteversion and is usually around 90 degrees. This angle is created because the cervix is pulled backwards by the uterosacral ligaments, whereas the body of the uterus is pulled forward by the round ligaments. And because of this, angle of anteversion, which is around 90 degrees, is formed. The unique thing about this mechanical axis is any rise in the intra-abdominal pressure tends to accentuate this angle. So any rise in the intra-abdominal pressure, as happens during coughing, sneezing, or during straining, will literally push the uterus onto the urinary bladder, creating a much sharper angle and much more difficulty in causing prolapse of the uterus. So this angle, by just its mere presence, stops prolapse from happening. The second important mechanical support is the pubocervical ligament. Now this ligament is actually a condensation of the endopelvic fascia. It corresponds to the medial and the lateral puboprostratic ligament seen in males. This ligament connects the pubic symphysis to the cervix of the uterus, and that stops the uterus from prolapsing. The next important mechanical support is the McEnroe's ligament. Now there are many ways to describe this particular ligament, many names given to this particular ligament. The most important concept that we have to understand here is, again, this is a condensation of the endopelvic fascia and this is located slightly above the levator ani. It's a fan-shaped ligament that literally forms a hammock and connects the lower part of cervix and the upper part of the vagina to the lateral pelvic walls. Now, approximately 2.5 centimeters ventral to the ischial spine is where the connection is being made. This hammock supports the uterus. The other names for McEnroe's ligament include lateral cervical ligament, cardinal ligament, paracervical ligament, retinacula, uterine sustentaculum of Bonney. So there are quite a few names. The more you remember, the better it is for you. The fourth important mechanical support is the uterosacral ligament. As the name says it connects the uterus to the periosteum of the sacrum, the cervix to the periosteum of the sacrum. This also is the condensation of the endopelvic fascia. Now, as it goes back, it has to wind around the rectum to connect to the sacrum, right? So, between the uterus and the rectum, a pouch is created. This pouch is of course lined by the peritoneum, and this pouch is called as the recto-uterine pouch of Douglas. The uterosacral ligaments form the lateral borders of this pouch. And last important mechanical support is the round ligament. This round ligament is a flat fibromuscular band that connects the uterus to the labia majora. This ligament starts at the lateral angle of the uterus. It runs forward and laterally to reach the deep inguinal ring. Then it enters into the inguinal canal, and then it attaches to the areolar tissue present in the labia majora. Now, embryologically, a part of peritoneum does follow the round ligament into the inguinal canal, which usually gets obliterated eventually. The peritoneum gets obliterated, but sometimes the peritoneum may persist in an adult, and this peritoneal sac will then be called as the canal of Nuck. Of course, there are secondary supports of the uterus too. These include the broad ligaments, the vesico-uterine pouches and the fold of peritoneum surrounding it, and the recto-vaginal pouch or the recto-uterine pouch and the fold of peritoneum surrounding it. These are folds of peritoneum. We really don't know how much significant they have in giving support to the uterus, but we do tend to include this in this particular topic. Now that we are clear with what the supports of the uterus are, let's move on to the applied aspect of this particular topic. Sometimes the supports don't work properly, and that may lead to prolapse of the uterus. A prolapse of the uterus is literally dropping down of uterus into the vagina. It can even lead to prolapse of the urethra, urinary bladder, or rectum. These topics in some other video, some other time, the link of which will be posted in the description box below. Till the next time we meet, this is Dr. Avinash signing off for now. Keep studying, keep rocking, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.